I think the Russians know there's no end other than the one they make of it. And so what we're seeing is the ramp up in long-range precision strikes against the entire power grid, the energy sources, the energy delivery systems, transportation, arsenals, ammunitions, all of those things are being systematically targeted. And the reason is very simple. Once you've stripped it away and eliminated all of the air defense and the energy, two things happen. First of all, the population says, I can't survive here, and they leave. And the Russians would like the civilian population to get out of these places. They do not want to fight their way through cities that are full of people.
Welcome to a pivotal update on the unfolding saga in Eastern Europe. Today's coverage isn't just another report. It's a deep dive into a theater of war where every move and countermove can shift the scales of power. As Ukraine launches a bold aerial offensive, striking deep into Russian territory, questions loom. What does this mean for the future of this conflict? And is this a sign of escalating aggression or a strategic feint in a larger game of war? But there's more to this narrative. We turn to the insights of former U.S. Colonel Douglas Macgregor, a seasoned military strategist. Colonel Macgregor presents a thought-provoking perspective. What we are witnessing, he argues, is merely the tip of the iceberg. According to him, Russia's recent offensives are preparatory maneuvers, not the full extent of their military might. He suggests that the true Russian offensive, potentially on a much larger scale, has yet to unfold. This insight adds a layer of complexity to our understanding. Are these tactical strikes harbingers of a larger storm brewing on the horizon? As we navigate through these turbulent waters of warfare, join us in unraveling the strategies, the unseen tactics, and the possible paths this conflict might take. This is more than news. It's a journey into the heart of a modern battle for power and territory. Let's embark on this exploration together. In an orchestrated display of aerial prowess, Ukraine embarked on a significant offensive against Russian airbases. The night sky over Rostock was first to witness this onslaught, as a fleet of UAVs, estimated at over a dozen, swarmed the base. Russian defenses managed to intercept most, but the message was clear: Ukraine was escalating its tactics. Next, the Mork airfield experienced a more intense wave of aggression. An estimated 44 UAVs were unleashed in a meticulously planned attack. Russian reports indicate successful interception of nearly 40 of these drones, while Ukrainian sources claim substantial damage to Russian aircraft. Finally, the strategic Sarat airbase faced a solitary UAV strike. While this attack resulted in minimal physical damage, it served a greater purpose: to distract, misdirect, and gather intelligence on Russian air defenses. This singular UAV hinted at a strategy beyond sheer firepower, indicating a nuanced approach to warfare. In total, the onslaught involved around 60 UAVs across 3 key locations. This maneuver reveals a significant shift in Ukraine's military strategy, aiming not just at immediate damage, but at undermining the broader operational capabilities of Russian forces, aiming at the Su-34 squadron and their capability to smash the front line with glide bombs. As Ukraine showcased its capability to penetrate Russian air defenses, the stage was set for a Russian countermove, equally strategic and impactful. Let's explore Russia's response to these unprecedented aerial attacks. In a strategic gambit, Russian forces have launched calculated tactical strikes against crucial Ukrainian military and energy installations. Mr. Douglas provides a critical insight into this strategy. According to Macgregor, these operations are a part of a well-prepared Russian plan, designed to systematically weaken both the Ukrainian front lines and their supply chains in the rear. This approach, Macgregor asserts, demonstrates Moscow's readiness to escalate and respond effectively to any aggression, whether from Ukraine, NATO, or even the US. Each Russian strike is carefully crafted, not just for immediate impact but for long-term strategic disruption. The attacks are precise, targeting key positions in a bid to destabilize the Ukrainian defense network. These maneuvers showcase a deep understanding of the battlefield and a commitment to a larger strategy that goes beyond mere territorial gains. The offensive has been particularly intense in the south, where Russian forces are making significant inroads. This advance, marked by a combination of ground offensives and precision artillery, is compelling Ukrainian troops to retreat from crucial areas. The Russian use of UAVs in these regions further emphasizes their tactical acumen, serving both destructive and reconnaissance purposes. Amid this relentless onslaught, the targeting of Ukrainian energy supply lines, especially in strategic locations like Odessa, highlights a deeper aspect of Russia's strategy. These strikes aim to disrupt Ukraine's ability to sustain its military efforts, reflecting a long-term approach to weakening the opponent's capabilities. This strategic weakening of Ukrainian defenses sets the stage for further developments on the shifting battlegrounds. Let's now turn to these front lines, where the conflict's true intensity and implications are starkly evident. On the front lines, the ebb and flow of battle paint a vivid picture of strategy and survival. Russian forces, with their calculated advances, have changed the dynamics of this war. In Bilohorivka and Chasiv Yar, we see a strategic tug-of-war, with control swinging like a pendulum in this brutal confrontation. The situation near Bilohorivka is particularly volatile. Russian units have pushed Ukrainian forces back, gaining ground and compelling them to retreat towards critical defensive lines near the surrounding forests. These advances were not without significant effort. Intense fighting and shelling marked the Russian campaign to secure these areas. In Chasiv Yar, the conflict has intensified. Russian forces are reported to have made substantial advances, pressuring Ukrainian defenses and targeting key military installations. The battle here is not just for land but for strategic advantage, as controlling Chasiv Yar could offer the Russians a significant edge in maneuverability and resource allocation. As we move to the broader front, the Russian strategy seems clear: a meticulous and relentless push to weaken the Ukrainian defenses from multiple directions. Russian troops have employed a mix of traditional ground offensives, supported by UAVs and artillery, to destabilize Ukrainian positions. This multifaceted approach has forced Ukrainian units to spread thin, defending on multiple fronts and leaving some areas vulnerable to breakthroughs. In the midst of these ever-changing dynamics, both sides have suffered losses, but the exact figures remain uncertain. What is clear, however, is the increasing intensity of the conflict, as each side vies for control over key regions. This battle is not just about territory. It's a fight for future positioning and strategic advantage in a war that continues to evolve with each passing day. As we witness these intense battles for control, it's crucial to zoom in on specific locations that have become focal points in this conflict. Let's examine these critical areas where the struggle for dominance is most fierce. In the heart of the conflict, the towns of Yasnobrodivka, Netylov, and Umanziki have become emblematic of this war's brutality. Russian forces have executed a series of calculated maneuvers, reshaping the battlefield and compelling Ukrainian units to withdraw strategically. In Yasnobrodivka, the situation rapidly evolved, with Russian troops advancing significantly, pushing Ukrainian forces back from key forested areas and high grounds. The ferocity of these advances can't be overstated, with both sides engaging in fierce, unyielding combat. The narrative in Netylov follows a similar arc. Ukrainian defensive positions here have been under severe pressure, leading to a tactical withdrawal towards larger forested areas for regrouping. Russian troops have capitalized on this, gaining control over important terrain, pivotal for future operations. Umanziki, too, has seen its share of intense fighting. Russian advances in this area highlight their strategic approach of encircling and isolating Ukrainian positions, effectively cutting off supply lines and reinforcements. This has resulted in Ukrainian forces being squeezed out of critical defensive locations. Across these towns, the conflict's dynamic is a testament to the shifting tides of war. The Russian strategy appears to focus on systematically breaking down Ukrainian defenses, targeting key locations to disrupt their operational capabilities. This approach, marked by relentless assaults and tactical superiority, has led to significant territorial gains and a redefined battlefield. These developments in Yasnobrodivka, Netylov, and Umanziki are not isolated incidents but part of a broader strategy shaping the entire conflict. This strategic reshaping brings us to a pivotal point, where each side's resilience and adaptability are put to the test. As the intricate chessboard of this conflict evolves, the shifting tides of war paint a vivid, albeit somber, picture. We have seen significant developments on both sides, with the strategic towns of Yasnobrodivka, Netylov, and Umanziki emerging as focal points in this relentless struggle. The recent information from the battlefront indicates catastrophic losses for Ukraine, reaching peaks unseen since the Bakhmut period. In stark contrast, Russia, despite equipment losses, reports its lowest human casualties in this phase of the conflict. Colonel Douglas provides an insightful perspective on these developments. According to him, the high Ukrainian losses signal a turning point, while Russia's methodical approach and limited casualties reflect a well-calibrated strategy. Macgregor suggests that Moscow, under Putin's leadership, is adept at responding to any escalation, with a suite of plans always ready for deployment. Today's events, from the fierce ground battles to the strategic targeting of energy infrastructures, underscore the complexity and brutality of this conflict. As we continue to bring you the latest developments, our commitment to in-depth analysis remains steadfast. Join us as we navigate through these turbulent times, providing continuous coverage of these critical developments.